Flying Red Barrel, The Diary of a Little Aviator. Feels like a weird enigma within the shmup genre. It comes out today on Steam for $9.99 and is developed by Orange Juice, most famous for 100% Orange Juice, the fun party online board game. Before I begin this review, however, this key was obtained from the publisher, Fruitbat Factory, for the purposes of review. That won't change my opinion of the game in the end, but you should know that because of FTC guidelines, as well as the whole morals thing, you know? Red Barrel is definitely different than what I first expected. The cartoonish style overshadows a game that isn't exactly a full bullet hell, but isn't exactly a walk-in-the-park shmup either, even at the lowest of its 3 difficulty settings. Granted, the first thing you'll need to do before even starting the game is go to the options menu and turn this option on, so you know what part of your plane can get hit. I like the option, but make it default. Then, it becomes similar to other shmups, as you use the edges of your screen and the limited space to dodge incoming bullets to try to get to the end of the level. But what's sort of weird is how the game ends up doing a scoring system and actually playing in the process. See, you could have a perfect run with your base shots and kill all the enemies as you see here on screen and not die in a level and still get a 1-star ranking in a stage. How you get high scores is with the skill shot, a bazooka-like shot that you could charge up and get multipliers with an explosion, which builds slowly when collecting coins on the field that you can't pick up while firing. This gives the game an interesting risk and reward mechanic, as you maximize the effectiveness of those 5 possible bazooka shots while putting yourself into the best position to score and keep your combo going. But it could also mean that you're putting yourself into a hail of bullets while doing that. This game is very much a score challenge game more than anything else, and the idea is to replay over and over again to find the best route to maximize each run. Which for some, it will not be enough, as the lack of traditional power-ups or even different vehicles or planes means that runs will end up really feeling the same over time. Granted, the little story elements in the game, which you can have an effect on by wanting to shoot certain things or waiting, do help with the game's charm, as you really do wish to learn more about the characters and the whole rebellion element. But you don't get a ton of it even when you go in a different direction. Level to level, there's slight differences in enemies, but the game tries to keep the core bullet patterns in place. But frankly, for the 5 different levels of the game, I was wanting a little more in the bullet patterns of the standard attacks, but it does do well in throwing things like missiles that can curve at you. What the game fails the most at is, well, explaining itself. Which may sound weird for a shmup, but things like the multiplier being tied to bazooka shots is never really explained. And things like mini coins, okay, great, I'm collecting them, but I have no idea what they do or even if they are worth collecting. And the game really doesn't also explain the clock UI that's a little unintuitive that indicates your combo, and you sort of gotta figure it all out on your own. A lot of this is good, but not great. The music is good, but you'll want to listen to something else after you play the game for the 25th time in a row. But here's that caveat. Despite being of the same genre, it does feel different enough to stand out from other standard games in the genre, even if the elements are slightly downgraded compared to others of the same size. With all that said, Flying Red Barrel is fun, and will gain value for players over time who put the commitment to it, but for others, it may not do enough to really validate a purchase right now, coming in at a 73 out of 100, making it a buy for those who love the genre or the niche, but others will want to wait for a sale. Of course, that doesn't include my enhancer system, which matches a game to you. If you fall into one of the following categories, add or subtract that score to the main score to find where the game lies on the buyability rating for you. This is definitely a game targeting the mid-level veterans of shmups with its lower price tag plus a reasonable difficulty curve that starts a little higher than others may like it. But here, it'll come down to the sustainability of the gameplay and whether you can overlook certain elements. Anyway, this is Dragnix signing out, review of Shantae next, and as always, keep on gaming.